UNL driver here in Phoenix, Arizona. How is everybody doing out there? On a Tuesday morning. It is about 8:07 a.m. Tuesday, June 25th. Today I want to talk a little bit more about myself and how I got started doing Uber. It's been over 3 years since I've started Uber, since I've been working with Uber. Lyft, it's been a little less than a year. But I want to talk about when I first started rideshare. When I first started rideshare with Uber, I was living in Las Vegas, Nevada. I had lived there 18 years before I moved here to Phoenix, Arizona. And I worked for a finance company. I was actually a finance manager for a corporate company in Las Vegas. Was with them for about 8-9 years. And I wanted to come out to Phoenix, but the company I worked for wasn't here in Phoenix due to the different laws and stuff like that. So one of my former employees had told me about Uber, and she was explaining to me how it worked and how you pick up people and drop off. And I'm telling her, well, I don't know if I could see myself being a taxi driver. I don't think I could do that. So she said, just try it out. So I did. I tried it out for a few hours as I was still working for the finance company. And I got hooked. I loved it. It was amazing. It was amazing to pick up people, dropping them off. I mean, it was just so simple and easy. And then to get to know different types of people, especially in Vegas, you have people from all over the world there. So you have different nationalities, just different people all the way around. So I got hooked. Shortly after that, I put my notice because I was going to be moving out to Phoenix. But I did stay for about 6 months out in Las Vegas doing Uber. And I was hooked. I made great money. Back then, it was really, really good money. Now it's gone a little bit harder. You got to work a little extra hours just to make what you want to make. But for the most part, it was really amazing how much money I can make. In about a 6-month period, I think I pulled over about $47,000, something around there, in a 6-month period. And that's not including tips, because back then when Uber first started, we weren't allowed to take tips. Well, actually, you weren't really allowed to take tips. I mean, people forced tips on you, but we didn't have the tip function in the app. And as we were told, we weren't really allowed to take tips. So that's the way it worked in the beginning. We did get paid a lot more. But that's how I first started Uber, was in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's been over 3 years. Now I am in Phoenix, Arizona. As a UNL driver, I do Uber and Lyft now in Phoenix. But out here in Phoenix, it's a little bit different than Las Vegas. Out in Vegas, it don't matter what time you start. It just don't matter what time you start. You could start any time of the day. You're going to make money. It's Vegas. So that's the way it works out there. Here, I had to find out the different times that worked for me. When I first came out here, I used to start between 7 and 8 and work all day. But then I found out that getting up earlier and starting earlier, I was working more. I was doing more trips and making more money. So I started getting up earlier, 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Now I get up about 2:20. I'm out the door by 3 or right at 3, or I'm out the door before 3 or right at 3. And I'm busy. I'm busy all the way till 8 a.m. It's a little after 8 now, so I'm done for the day. Sometimes I go out in the afternoon, for a little extra or whatever. I'll go out in the afternoon. But for the most part, 5 hours a day, 35 hours a week, 7 days a week. That's what I do. Let me tell you where I was born and raised. I was born and raised in San Bernardino, California. I used to be a break dancer. That's right. I used to be a break dancer. I used to DJ back in the days. And then I got into my first job was KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's where I first worked, Kentucky Fried Chicken. I worked there over 3 years. I was a really good cook. I knew all that chicken stuff and secret recipe and all that. Then after that, I started working for a rent-to-own company called Central Rental and Purchasing. I was with them for quite a while. Learned a lot from the manager that actually worked there, a guy named Mike. Taught me a lot. Then I went out on my own and got a job working in Rent-A-Center. So with Rent-A-Center, I was an in and out credit manager. So I was kind of like an assistant manager for collections, or a manager for collections in that department. So I was with them for, probably about 12, 13 years, something like that. Then I went to a company called Ace TV Rentals, which was the owner, a guy named Mike Flanagan. He started the company, and he actually resided here in Phoenix, in Paradise Valley. That's where our corporate office was, in Paradise Valley. And I was with that company for several years. I mean, years I was with that company. I traveled with the company to Las Vegas, to Washington, in California. I mean, I traveled around the West Coast a lot with that company. When the company ended, I was actually in Washington, Everett, Washington, as a supervisor, running about 4 Ace TV rental stores. A guy named Brian Kahn had bought the company from Mike Flanagan, and he was an investor, so he just wanted to make them profitable and then sell them off, which I stepped in, and I ran about 4 stores in Washington, hired, fired, made them profitable, turned them around. Took me about 6-7 months to do that. Then he sold off those stores, wanted me to go back east to North Carolina to run some Aaron stores that he was going to buy. He was going to franchise some Aaron stores. I think it was like 100 Aaron stores he was buying, and he was going to open those and franchise those. But I turned it down, and the reason why I turned it down is because I was a single parent at the time. I have 4 children, and I didn't want to drag them across the whole United States. So I turned them down. I went back to California. Shortly after that, one of my buddies named Jim Sanford had contacted me, wanted me to come up to Vegas and start in the financing industry. So that's what I did. I went up to Vegas, became a manager for a company called Coster's Cash Loans. I was with them for, I think, about 6-7 years, and then I went to a company called Security Finance, and I was with them for several years, and that's where I ended up doing Uber after putting my notice in with Security Finance. But did love Security Finance, did travel a lot with them, don't have to travel no more. I love being my own boss. This is where I stand right here. I am in Phoenix, Arizona. UNL driver here in Phoenix, Arizona. Today's Tuesday. Had an okay day. Possibly might go back out later today, and not too sure what's going to happen, but that's pretty much it. I mean, wanted to bring that up. And had a really good time in Vegas doing Uber. I mean, it's really, really busy out there. Really busy. As a matter of fact, I think I'm going to call one of my buddies out there, see how he's doing. He does Uber out there as well. But today's Tuesday, not really a whole lot to talk about. I know I always say that, right? But there is a lot to talk about. But wanted to bring up, my experience with Uber. I've been doing it over 3 years. I know the way it works. I try not to cancel on people. I know the cancellation button's there, and they have to have those tools in place for emergencies. But I don't cancel. I don't cancel on nobody unless I really have to. If I'm parked in front of your house, apartment, residence, employment, wherever, and you're not coming out, it's been 5-6 minutes, I have to cancel. I can't stay and wait for you and let other trips go by. So with that being said, I don't cancel a whole lot on anybody, really. I do every single trip that I can. And here in Phoenix, you're going to want to do every single trip. Even if you have to take your car, turn it around and go pick them up. And the reason why I say that is because it's super slow here. So every trip you get will earn you money. So keep that in mind. Every single trip that you do will earn you money. If you hit that cancellation button, guess what? Someone else is going to earn that money. Could be me, because I love to pick up the slack. I'll pick up the slack. It don't matter. You want to be lazy. You don't want to work. You want to hit the cancellation button. You want to not accept trips. I'm the man to pick them up. I will take the trip and I will earn the money, whether it's $2.62 or more than that, $20.62. So, love to do Uber, love to do Lyft. I love it all the way around. I love being my own boss. I just love everything about it. You know, I'm gonna do another video on the Uber and Lyft log again. I know I did one video, but I'm gonna do another one, and I want to show you how the Lyft log works to your advantage. If you're a full-time Uber and Lyft driver, you're gonna want to keep track of your earnings. You're gonna want to keep track of your mileage. Now, I know Uber and Lyft sends you 1099 forms that they keep track of all that information. But you want to keep track of all this on your own. As a matter of fact, I set goals for Uber. I set goals for Lyft, how much I want to make a day. I keep track of how many trips I do a day. I keep track of how much gas I put in my car a day. I keep track of everything. I'm going to make another video so that way you guys can take a look and keep track. If you want to use this spreadsheet, you're more than welcome to. Otherwise, you can make your own spreadsheet, or you can even keep it on paper. I used to write down everything on paper. I don't do that no more. I have a spreadsheet on my phone. It's a lot more easier, convenient. But other than that, I mean, like I said, I keep track of every penny, every trip, every day that I put gas, and every mileage that I drive. You want to keep track of all that information. It's good to have, especially for IRS purposes. You're going to file your taxes every year. You need that information. You know, they want to do an audit. You have that information. You know, you don't let only Uber and Lyft keep track of all your information. They only keep track of mileage and your earnings. Everything else, you need to keep track. So, I will do another video soon with that, but wanted to share that as well. Other than that, I mean, you know, it's been a really good Tuesday. It's been pretty good Tuesday. Pretty good Tuesday out here, but here at home, it is super dead out here. Super dead, like no one's out here at all. I don't know if you can hear birds chirping or what, but you can hear somebody's out there working on something. But wanted to bring that up, wanted to go over a little bit about me, wanted to go over a little bit over about the spreadsheet and keeping track of your earnings and stuff like that. It's always good to keep track. Always good to keep track. But anyways, I'm going to call my buddy in Vegas, see how he's doing. So you know what's coming next. Oh yeah. Peace out.